So, never lived in, didn't go to like Cleveland City Schools, went to Parma City Schools, very suburb. I went to Cleveland State. I kind of knew I wanted to be a teacher in the beginning, and then in high school I went into the medical field and did vocational, and I did it for a year. In my second year, I hated it. I was like, this is not for me. I knew I wanted to help people, but that wasn't it. So I went to Tri-C my senior year and started taking classes so I could get done with college as soon as possible. It's like I want to do whatever I'm going to do with my life and do it soon. So my aunt actually is a special ed teacher for Cleveland City Schools, and so she kind of started talking to me about maybe you should go into education. You love kids, you love helping people. So I taught swim lessons, and I was a lifeguard, and I had an autistic girl, and she kind of changed the game from regular ed to special ed for me. So I was like, okay, I want to be a special ed teacher. I want to help people. My mom tells me I was born to fix people. I like to fix people, and that's sort of a problem. But for me, through Cleveland State, I was always in the urban city schools. I did my student teaching and my practicum and all my field experiences with urban city kids. And the second I would walk in the door, like, I instantly clicked with them. And I felt like I was drawn to that population of kids. And I feel like that's a really strong point of mine, is building that student rapport and building those relationships. So after I graduated college this past December, I started working at the Cleveland Site Center downtown as a preschool intervention specialist. So my kids were visually impaired. I fell in love, and like a lot of teachers say, they're my kids. Like, those were my kids. And I went home worrying about my kids and thinking about my kids and what I could do to help. So my one little boy, he couldn't even count to one, and he was going into kindergarten. But I got him to count to one. And just like on the board, he would say one. And we would get so excited and jump up and down and cheer. And like little things like that just melt your heart. And another little girl of mine, she's definitely my why. Her name's Sierra. We clicked instantly and at the site center, and she is completely blind. Her mom did drugs when she was pregnant with her. Her grandma did drugs, so she's raised by great-grandma and great-grandpa. And I felt like I was like a mentor figure for her, even though she was so young. I'm going to make a difference in this little girl's life. I see her every other week. I pick her up. We go to the pool. We hang out. So I'm still, like, teaching her things, even though she's going on into kindergarten and whatever she's doing. So while I was working at the site center, I was applying for jobs. So it's like, it's not permanent. It's a long-term sub position. So I found Breakthrough. I didn't know anything about e-prep, nothing. Came in for an interview with Chris, and I think you showed me around. As soon as I walked in the door, I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like you said, like, this is it. This is where I'm supposed to be. I knew it right away. So I taught my lesson. I had one of the hardest kids. Everyone said, Michael, the hardest kid. But for me, Chris was like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe you got him to answer your question. Like, I was like, oh, okay. I was so excited. So I was like, okay, this is definitely somewhere I know I can make a difference. So Chris emailed me after my interview and asked if I was still interested. I was supposed to be moving to Florida at the time, so I was like, I'm moving, I can't, I'm sorry. And then obviously that fell through. So all summer I'm like, I need a job, like, what am I going to do? Last minute, I applied everywhere. I mean, every single district you could think of, charter schools all over the place. Last minute I'm like, wait, e-prep, totally just, I forgot about it. So I emailed Chris right away. Emailed me back at like 11 o'clock that night, and he was like, yeah, we have an opening. He's like, come on in on Monday. So I came in and sat down with him, sat down with Ashley, because she was going to be the new principal. And that Monday, she called me. I was guarding, actually. I was opening at the rec, and she called me while I was on my break, and I was literally jumping up and down in the office. Like, I was so excited. My boss comes in. She's like, what is going on? I was like, I just got a job at the best school. Like, I was so excited. And so I was like, okay. Like, I am a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. I have have it tattooed on my body. That's how much it means to me. And I believe that I was put here for a reason, and as much as I love kids and this population, I feel like I'm really going to make a difference here. And I know that, like, that's what we all want. So I'm super excited to, like, be with people that want to change lives and shape our scholars to be the best they can be throughout their lives. So that's me. That's my why.